again, people. Well, let's do this search warrant on the fancy Texas Rangers. Man, those guys are good. They work for the Highway Patrol. Ooh, the Texas Rangers are on it. They screwed this freaking warrant up. I mean, now look, I gotta be fair. This is kind of a after-the-fact warrant. The guy's dead. We're not worried about a prosecution. Let me knock this warrant out so I can go in and check this guy's phone and get some shit that we're not going to share with the public. So this isn't what I would call the most important warrant in the world. However, from a citizen's point, to where government screwed up so much and let 19 kids die and no communication, and I don't have a radio and it's not my fault and the door was unlocked and we waited for 50 minutes and we didn't, I mean, we handcuffed parents, we pepper sprayed parents. Yeah, in this case, this is an important investigation. Although this Texas Ranger may thought this warrant was not that important. All right. Before me, undersigned authority. Now I'm going to read this fast. A lot of people will come here afterwards and say, you said the instead of. And look, people, I know how to write a warrant. I know how to read a warrant. I'm reading it for expediency to get through this. So I read it fast and I skip words sometimes and I may read it wrong. Okay? Figure it out. You don't need to tell me how smart you are in the comments because you caught me making a mistake. But if it makes you feel better, knock yourself out. My name is blank. I'm a commissioned peace officer. Blah, blah, blah. So that means he's just identified himself. I'm a certified master peace officer. This is what we call the hero sheet. In a warrant or affidavit, you need to understand that you need to express why your expertise would lead a reasonable person or judge to believe that if you think there's evidence in there, there actually is evidence because you have experience. Now, on a warrant such as this, it's not that critical. But sometimes you got to get warrants where it's very specific. I didn't work white-collar crime a whole bunch, but in finances, you have to understand and you have to sell the judge because the judge may not know it. In some really drug cases where you're using some new stuff that's not real common, the judge may not know it. So you have to put what's called a hero sheet to where you put all your training, and that way a defense attorney can't attack this and say he didn't even know what he's talking about. Well, in this case, he could because the guy just cut and pasted some bullshit at the bottom, and it makes him look like a freaking idiot. And it makes the DA that reviewed this warrant look like an idiot, and it makes the judge that signed the warrant. Now, remember, a judge signed and read this, and he didn't pick up that he put a paragraph from a completely different warrant, and this has nothing to do with smuggling of kids. Yet smuggling, I think, is mentioned 2 or 3 times in here, and the DA didn't catch it. The cop that wrote it, the Texas Ranger that wrote it didn't catch it, and the judge that read and signed it didn't catch it. You have faith that when a cop gets a warrant, it must be good, because I hear that all the time. Well, if they got a warrant, it must be good. Okay, whatever. Certified peace officer, appointed to Department of Public Safety. Ooh, those guys are good. Texas Ranger Division. Ooh, those guys are even better. Affiance duties. Texas Ranger involves several areas of criminal investigation within law enforcement. So here he says it involves ever. He doesn't say he actually did all this. Include local crime, aggravated assault, sexual assault, theft, theft by public servant, robbery, fugitive arrest, manslaughter, murder, conducting criminal investigations for this sheriff, that sheriff, and this sheriff. And prior to being appointed Texas Ranger, affiant, which is the officer, was assigned to the Texas Department of Public Safety. Wow, where he wrote a lot of tickets. Criminal Investigation Division has a special agent to investigate organized crime, including narcotics, weapons, bulk cash smuggling, and 6+ years. 11/1/2014. Okay, so he's got 6 years experience of investigating crimes. So maybe he knows what he's talking about. That's what the purpose of that is. Affiant has received specialized training. This is where he gets into his formal. Remember, there's 2 types of training you get. Actually, there may be 3, but on-the-job training is considered informal. Formal training is where you go to an actual class with a syllabus outline and you get accredited training. You attend it. It's a 40-hour class. You get a certificate for 40 hours of training. That's called formal training. Informal training is me hanging around eating donuts with other cops, and we're talking about cases, and we're sharing informants, and we're sharing ideas and what the criminal did and criminal. That's all kind of informal or on-the-job training. So here he's saying I've received specialized training, which is formal training in criminal patrol, drug. Probably he went through the academy. They taught him that in the academy. So the academy is formal training. drug interdiction, organized drug trafficking, interview interrogation tactics, advanced criminal investigations, and advanced 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment training. Wow, you guys get advanced training in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and you're still out there doing the shit you do to the pesky citizens? I digress. Let me get back to the warrant. Affiant has conducted investigations on manslaughter, sexual assault, aggravated. Now, on these, you just want to put that you worked a lot of cases. Sometimes they'll put, I've conducted or assisted in investigations. Then you just lay in everything that you've done. I mean, again, this is just your chance to show that you've been around a little bit. Aggravated robbery, drug trafficking, and violent Texas. Is there non-violent Texas gangs that you did, or you only did the violent Texas gangs? Maybe there's some non-Texas. I'm just picking on them. Which resulted in your affiant writing and executing multiple search warrants at different... Okay, so he's got some experience in writing some warrants, even though he screwed this one up royally, including narcotics, weapons, to include the seizure of bank cash on U.S. currency. Well, that's no big freaking deal. You're stealing cash off cars and people left and right. And possession of child pornography within the state of Texas. Affiant has conducted interviews, interrogations on numerous suspects. Further, his understanding during the criminal investigation what led to felony arrests, state, federal indictments. Okay, this is what most cops who are out there making arrests, doing cases, writing warrants, all this sounds about the same. This is standard terminology, but again, it shows his quasi-expertise on why the judge should believe and issue this warrant. Because that's what a warrant is based on. An officer does a probable cause statement, and I have to convince the judge that, hey, I think there's evidence here. Here's why I think there's evidence there, and I want permission to go search for it. And the judge reviews it and goes, I believe that you know what evidence is. I believe that you have experience in these cases. And I believe you, when you tell me if you think there's evidence, I believe you from what I've read about you. That's basically how a warrant works. All right. So, suspicious item, property described. This is where basically you have to describe the person, place, and things with specificity on what you're searching for or where you're searching it. So, cellular phone, name iPhone 13 Pro Max. Damn, this kid's got 18 years old, got a Pro Max. What the hell? Black in color. I hate when cops do that. This is old school stupid shit. Black in color. It's black. No, Rick. It's black in color. It's white in color. It's yellow. The car was yellow in color. Was the car like yellow being in color or what? It was yellow. It was black. Cops do this shit because they cut and paste old warrants. They don't really write their warrant. They don't understand the law. And, you know, I didn't even use affiant a whole bunch. I put your affiant at the beginning as my name, and I would use I. I wrote it in first person. First person is easy to understand. It's more logical. It's easier for the jury to understand when they have to see it. It's just more reasonable to write in first person. But because lawyers have designed and written laws and warrants have been written this way with your affiant, my affiant, this affiant, and that, cops keep doing it. And, you know, whatever. It used to say I have to pray for a warrant. In the old legal, you would have to say, I pray that you issue this warrant. I took that out. I'm like, I'm not praying you issue it. You issue it because of the law. I ain't praying that you issue it. But anyway, I digress. All right. Containing data, subscriber information, the SIM card, internal memory, and other memory. Said mobile cellular phone is presently located. I don't know why they blocked out their evidence locker. I mean, what? It's the PD? Is this some secret public building? Unless it's kept at someone's private home, why would they black out the freaking address of a police station or an evidence station? That's kind of stupid, but again, anyway, this is all, okay, there is at said place stated suspected items constituting evidence, why are we using that, of a criminal offense or constituting evidence tending to show that a particular person committed a criminal offense. Man, I wouldn't put that statement because I can barely understand what the hell he's trying to say. But you know what? I'd like to hear him describe this statement to a judge or on a court when the defense goes, when you wrote this statement, officer, what the hell were you talking about? And make him explain that shit because I don't really get it. Anyway, I think he's saying that he thinks he's going to find evidence on the phone that he's looking for. But anyway, data stored within the mobile phone processing storage, containing therein, again with this herein, therein, therefore shit, to include photographic data, digital image. This is all cut and paste. You don't have to recreate the reel. Once you get all this information, you just kind of put it in. Okay, so this, I used to cut and paste this too. There's no reason to redefine each one. This is what I call a broad boilerplate warrant, where we get our warrants are supposed to be very specific what we're looking for, and over time we've changed it in that if we list everything that could possibly be there, then we can say we can find it. I just want all digital data off the phone, including images or any other digital data. I want all storage off the phone. That's basically what I want. But over time, oh, you got to be specific. So let's put text messages, video, digital images, voice recordings, data, decoding, reconstituting, otherwise manipulated or reversed, utilize, transmit, receive, encrypted, encode, and display such photographic, digital images, digital data, text messages, address books, video, voice message, encryption routines, and algorithms. I want everything off the phone. Okay? Do you think because he didn't put, I want child porn photos of 4-year-old boys, and I want child porn photos of 5-year-old boys, and I want child porn photo of... Do you think that you couldn't keep that if you just put, I'm looking for all digital images? If I find child porn, I get it. So this specification for drug warrants is like, I'm looking for a drug warrant, paraphernalia, scales, P&O sheets, any items that could be used for packaging drugs, scales for drugs, scale with residue, plastic bags with residue, money, transfer. I'm looking for things but whatever. I mean, this is just, again, once something gets ingrained in government, you can't freaking change it. You can, it just takes a couple of balls to say, I'm writing a freaking warrant for common sense to where I understand it, and I don't really give a shit if I use the legal mumbo jumbo to make some lawyer or judge feel important. Electronic communication stored within a phone, other processing storage data, voice messages, digital text message, video, phonographic books, module, SSM card. Yeah, okay, got it. You're looking for shit in a phone, okay? This information may include electronic information held and maintained. And you think somebody actually writes this out every time? This should be the #1 way that a defense attorney challenges a warrant. Did you come up with all these terms when you wrote this warrant that you were actually thinking was on the phone? Or did you copy and paste this because this is a format that you put? If any cop is telling the truth, he's going to say, I copy and pasted. And you might be able to get the warrant thrown out because that's not how you're supposed to write a warrant. But anyway, those services defined. These communications are referred to herein as stored communications. These related to this case stored in the suspect's mobile or cellular phone or other electronic devices as text message, video, photographic, digital images, digital voice message, any and all downloaded applications on their account, GPS, global positioning system, or remote tracking system information. Wow, I'm glad to clear that up because, man, if he'd have found a page of a map, probably couldn't have used it because he didn't put it in there. That's ridiculous. All right. Said suspect item is in charge of and controlled by each of the following. Now, this sounds like standard statement that's maybe DPS has come up with, but this is just, look, the phone's in custody of so-and-so, okay? But whatever. Department of Public Safety, Texas Ranger Division, Eagle Pass, Maverick County, Texas, by the Texas Ranger, blah, 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 and Federal Bureau of Investigation Forensics Analysis. Ooh, man, that's important. It is the belief of the affiant and hereby charges and accuses. I'm not charging whatever, dude. I think he committed a crime. This is the crime I think he committed, and that's why I want the warrant because it's a criminal offense. Not that hard. Said suspected items, item or items? Said suspected item is the following. A cellular motor, black in color. What color was it? It was black in color. Okay. So it was black? No, it was black in color. Okay. iPhone 13 Pro Max, IME code, use Salvador Rolando Oramas. His date of birth is 5/16/04. On May 24th, 2020, in connection with capital murder. Texas Penal Code, he put Penal Code. I would normally put the state, but because there's a lot of penal codes, you never know if a warrant, if they go federal and what state, etc. But normally I would say Texas Penal Code, California Penal Code, whatever state, but that's not a big deal. Penal Code Section 19.03. Affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. Okay, affiant, probable cause for the following facts, whatever. On 5/24, and he doesn't put the time here. When somebody doesn't put the time, that tells me they didn't write down the time and they don't know. This should be chronological order. This freaking crackpot Texas Ranger doesn't even have a freaking timeline because it's too hard to maybe get a dispatch log or to keep notes when you showed up or to write down the time that this happened. How do I know this is chronological? All I know is all this shit happened in one day. So this could have happened before, this could have happened after. Did he know this before or after? That's why you use the date and the time when you're writing a warrant. But Texas Ranger, those guys are good. They work for the Department of Public Safety. Did I say that? Anyway, and they got the cool hats. Affiant was conducted by Department of Texas Public Safety, Texas Ranger Lieutenant, who briefed Affiant, who briefed me, regarding an active shooter and multiple casualties at the Uvalde County area. Now, this isn't with specificity. I would say that this guy's lazy. Okay, he should have put, rebriefed me an active shooter involving Salvador so-and-so with multiple casualties at the Uvalde County Robb School, elementary school or something. That you give a complete county? So you just got briefed that there was a shooting in the whole county. Was there any other shooting in this day in that county? If there was, a defense attorney can make an argument. Are you sure it was this one? Because there was a lot of shootings in Uvalde County that day. Again, this isn't going to be in trial. We're not going to have to convince a jury. This is why you write warrants consistently in the right way, no matter what the case. This guy appears to be lazy to me. But I could be wrong. He could be the sharpest Texas Ranger in the whole division. Who knows? All right. On 5/24/22. On 5/24. So these happen on the same day. Wonder when they happen. Well, anyway, Affiant traveled to Robb Elementary. Okay, so we got the date. Located. Okay, good. He got specific. Okay. Upon arrival, Affiant was briefed by lead supervisor, Company D, Texas Ranger. Wasn't there F Troop or something on TV for the Texas Ranger? Was that F Troop? I don't know. Company D, Troop D, Texas Ranger. Jose Sanchez. Ranger Sanchez stated, the suspect, Salvador so-and-so, Hispanic male, arrived at the rear of Robb Elementary School. Here's where you normally get in the details of what the guy knows. And again, we're only looking to get in his phone, so this isn't really critical, and we're not worried about going to court. So some of his laziness, I get. It's like, this isn't the center of the world. It's not like a murderer is going to go free if I screw this warrant up. But to me, that just shows a lack of attention to detail, a lack of professionalism in the Texas Rangers, that when 19 kids are dead, just because you're not going to trial, you do a shitty warrant and you cut corners. My opinion. All right. School, road, whatever, while operating a gray in color. What color was it? It was gray in color. Okay, got it. 2008 Ford Texas registration. Ramos exited the Ford while armed with a long rifle. Now, we were told, according to the reports, he had 2 rifles and he dropped one. According to this crack Texas Ranger who's writing a warrant sworn under oath, he exited the vehicle with a long rifle, 1, not 2, and dropped one. He exited with a long one. And he began shooting. According to everything I've heard, he didn't begin shooting until 2 people came up to help him. But, Texas Ranger didn't feel that was important. Let's see. Building at Robb School, Ramos abandoned the Ford and continued to advance toward the interior of Robb. So he didn't even mention that he shot rounds at 2 people and a different facility. That just got left out. That's not important, Rick. Okay, great. I thought this was supposed to be a list of facts so the judge could make a determination and you knew what the fuck you were talking about. Oh, shit. Damn, F word. All right. Gained access inside school. While inside the school, Ramos fatally shot multiple students and injured several others. I don't know why we don't know numbers. I mean, maybe this warrant was done before we had numbers, so I can get that if they did it real quick. But if you have the phone, I don't know. I mean, getting the phone information is pretty quick. That's normally done pretty quick because you want to see if there's other addresses, storage facilities, things, receipts. Is he using a pay-by phone? Does he have credit cards in there? Does he have, all that's important to give us further leads, especially if we're looking for other suspects. I think this whole investigation has been so screwed up and lackadaisical and bullshit. I don't think they are looking for other suspects. I don't think they're in any type of hurry. There's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of specifics. It's just kind of like, let's go through the motions so, we can say we did something. Pesky citizens will approve our budget next year because we had to investigate this big case. Whatever. All right. Fatally shot On 5/22, again, the same day. Did we have a date change? 5/24/22, 5/24. Okay, we're on the same day. Everybody keep up. I know it's kind of tough. I briefed my company, F Texas Rangers, Nick Hill, regarding 2 male witnesses who were identified by Ranger blah, 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 has blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. According to the Ranger, blah, blah, he learned that the 2 male witnesses observed the male subject dressed completely in black. Completely in black seems to be a big theme of this, and I'm not sure why. With long, shoulder-length black hair, standing by the passenger side of a Ford Texas blah, blah, blah. Must be a truck. I don't know. According to Ranger blah, 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 worked towards the subject after he had crashed into the ditch behind the elementary school. As he approached the male subject was holding a long rifle, not 2, didn't drop one, wasn't picking up a backpack. He was just holding a long rifle. Okay, so these are details that later, as we get more statements and things, you're going to be able to go, this isn't accurate. Whoever told you this, what? And their answer would be, well, I was getting briefed and the situation was still going on and it was an ongoing investigation and we needed to get this. So my information was not specific. It was to give a general idea of what was going on. Okay, great. Walked towards, crashed, had a long rifle, proceeded with a long rifle. He was holding a long rifle and proceeded to load the rifle with a magazine. So the gun wasn't loaded. Man, all this planning, he got 60 magazines, bought 1,600 rounds, bought 2 mean AR assault rifles, those dangerous guns, bought 2 within 3 days, legally, passed a background, shoots his grandma in the face. We don't know if that's with a pistol or a rifle. Then he goes to this school and he has to load his rifle. Doesn't make sense to me. According to the Ranger, so-and-so and so-and-so shit their pants and retreated toward the Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home located, blah, 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 where the male subject began to fire gunshots in their direction. According to Ranger Tom and Ranger Billy Bob, witnessed the male subject approach, according to Ranger so-and-so. Oh, these must be the 2 witnesses. So-and-so and so-and-so witnessed the male subject approach the school and began shooting toward the buildings. Okay. On 5/24/22. Are we still on the same day? I don't know what time this happened. This could have been here or that could have been here. Time's not important. You know, we're just telling a story here so a judge can sign a warrant when I mention freaking, human trafficking when this case has nothing to do with human trafficking. Okay. On 5/22, federal law enforcement officers responded to the scene. Why? Why were they there? Who asked for them? We don't need their freaking federal ass showing up. This ain't a federal crime till we ask for their assistance. And if they think it's a federal crime, why do they think it's a federal crime? And why are they showing up? Anyway, I digress. While attempting to locate Ramos, law enforcement officers encountered multiple injured students. What's multiple? How many? I didn't see one kid put in an ambulance, and I didn't see one report that we have 14 students in a hospital with injuries. I haven't heard anything about kids in a hospital with injuries. Not one report. That's kind of odd. Who had suffered apparent gunshot wounds. Maybe they just tripped and fell. We don't even know if they were gunshot wounds. And discovered multiple casualties throughout the hallways and the classrooms. Law enforcement officers encountered Ramos inside one of the classrooms. Ramos fired multiple gunshots toward their direction. See, he starts switching here. Should be Ramos fired multiple shots toward the entering team or toward the officers that enter the room. This gets a little, this isn't clear, and you need to write these so it's very clear. Law enforcement officers returned fire where Ramos was fatally shot. Man, he made that sound like they were heroes. While attempting to locate Ramos, we were also wounded. Law enforcement officers came in and encountered Ramos inside one of the classrooms. Ramos fired at them, and a law enforcement officer returned fire and fatally shot him. Nothing to mention about they waited outside for a freaking hour for backup for officer safety while kids were getting shot and calling 911. Wow. And to be honest, I'm not sure if that's relevant for the warrant, but it's just funny how little facts that make government look incompetent get left out of government documents. Law enforcement officers returned, gunfired, Ramos' family shot him. Among Ramos' belongings is a black in color. What color was it? Black. Apple iPhone Pro 13 Max was located next to Ramos. Upon further investigation, Ramos was wearing all black clothing and had long black hair. Wow. What the hell, man? That seems like a freaking pretty important point that you're making there. Not that 19 kids were killed, but he had long black hair and was wearing black. Okay, I got it. So that's it. Those are the facts on why he wants to search the phone. Does he need more than that? Probably not, especially not since the guy's dead. But to me, I think warrants, the more detailed, the better. They need to be detailed so the judge, when he signs it, has more information. Because the judge can only sign a warrant with the information that's in the warrant. If the judge asks me a question while he's reading my warrant, technically, I am supposed to redo that warrant and add that question and answer. Most cops don't. They just, oh yeah, hey, in here you said this. Are you talking about that? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you there was another witness that said that. Okay, thanks. And then he reads the warrant and signs it. He can't issue a warrant on what that cop told him. He has to do it within the confines on what is written in a warrant. And that gives the defense a way to challenge and get the warrant quashed. All right, here we go. Based on my training experience as a Texas Ranger with a big cowboy hat, I know that cell phones are often used by individuals who are involved in illegal activity. Wow. Are cell phones used by people with legal activity? Do you know that with your training experience? Anyway, has said cell phones being one of the primary tools commonly used to keep information of particular criminal activity, which is readily available. It is a common practice for individuals to store photographs, voicemail, text messages, blah, 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 blah. It is common practice for individuals involved in criminal activity such as drug trade, sexual assault, prostitution, child pornography, and smuggling of persons to store pictures. This is not a case of drug trade, sexual assault, prostitution, child pornography, or smuggling of persons. How the hell did a judge and a DA that read this warrant not say it's common practice for individuals involved in criminal activity such as drug trade, sexual trade? I mean, any judge worth his salt would be, hey, this statement here where you mentioned drug trade, sexual, are we investigating these crimes? Is this in the warrant? I mean, what that? This is, I think, the mistake, or the crack investigative team of the Texas Rangers will justify that and say, well, what he was trying to say that all criminals do this and criminals in all these areas do it. But he's not investigating that. He's investigating a mass casualty shooting of a freaking crazy guy that went in and shot unarmed kids. So to say it's a common practice for individuals involved in these crimes really has nothing to do with this crime and why he believes there's information related to this crime on that phone. Very, either very poorly worded, which they will probably come out, it was worded wrong, it wasn't a mistake, he didn't accidentally, but it looks like he did it. Smuggling of persons to store pictures of themselves and individuals they conduct business with their trophy shots. Is he implying that this guy took trophy shots of him and the dead kids? I mean, this statement makes no damn sense. How can you read this statement and not have questions? I'll tell you how. You either don't read it or you skim through it and you're a lazy-ass judge that thinks because a Texas Ranger comes in, everything in a warrant must be good, so you don't need to check on them because they're so good. And that's how we have failure in government, because you ride on reputation. The FBI, those guys are perfect, they're good. They're not perfect, they're not good. They get caught smuggling and stealing and being freaking, traitors and selling information to the Chinese. FBI agents have been convicted of all kinds of crimes. And all cops, including the Texas Rangers, I'm sure, have been convicted of crimes. But when you get this hero status, this code blue, all police are great, all police must be loved. You can't talk about police, otherwise you're a bad guy. That's what you get. You get shittier and shittier police work. This is bullshit warrant. But anyway, I digress. Trophy shots of drugs, guns, victims, and large amounts of cash. We're not doing a drug, guns, and victims. Well, I guess he could say guns and victims are in this. But why would you mention drugs? This doesn't make it. In order to show proof of criminal activity and get street cred. I get it. This guy's not getting street cred. This guy isn't trying. He's dead. How can you say I'm looking for pictures for him to get street cred when the guy supposedly has no criminal history And he just goes to school, shoots his grandmother, and shoots these kids out of the blue, and nobody knows why. Now, all of a sudden, we got a guy trying to get street cred taking pictures. This fucking warrant would be thrown out of any court that tried to use this on any criminal case. Very, very another big black eye for the Texas Rangers, Department of Public Safety, State Police, the crack Texas law enforcement team. Wow. Man, you guys have shown your incompetence so much on one freaking case. I can't even imagine how deep the incompetence is. Based on my training and experience, individuals involved in illegal activity store information on their cell phones about map groups, persons. Okay, I got it. Criminal. Okay. Individuals involved in the drug trade. We're not talking about drug trade. Human smuggling. We're not talking about human smuggling. Human trafficking. We're not talking about human trafficking. Also use social media as MySpace and Facebook to conduct their business. This statement absolutely has nothing to do with this warrant. This guy just fucked. What a colossal error. And now it's in the public. We would never know this if search warrants weren't public once they were served. We wouldn't know this if good media didn't get this warrant and share it. If good First Amendment auditors didn't do their FOIA request and post videos of them questioning law enforcement. This is why you never trust law enforcement. This is why you don't have the attitude that all cops are perfect, good, and great, and I can trust them with my life and my kid's life. Because if you do, if you back the blue, your kids will be dead too. Okay? So just think about it. All right. A cell phone is often used by individuals involved in human smuggling and human trafficking. What a freaking idiot. Nothing to do with this case. Wow. Damn, those Texas Ranger guys are good. Smuggling and human trafficking. Wow. Man. You know what? If I didn't know any better, I would think this is a smuggling and human trafficking warrant. How about you guys? Raise your hand if you think this warrant is about killing kids or smuggling and trafficking. Yeah, great. Rick, we can't raise our hand for both. You didn't give us a yes or no. I got it. I screwed it up. All right, here we go. Based on my training and experience, which obviously is pretty shitty, Mr. Texas Ranger, I believe all the methods are commonly used to store information on cell phones that are recoverable, both manually and electronically, and detailed forensic examination of the same. Affiant believes, based on the information, that the said suspected cell phone contains information confirming blank is involved in the smuggling. They put this name out. He put the wrong freaking name in the warrant. That's the only reason they would box that out. Because they've already said Salvador earlier in the warrant. They've already got his name. Why would they block this name out unless he put the wrong freaking person's name in the warrant? Are you freaking kidding me? And the DA that reviewed it and the judge that reviewed it didn't catch it. Rick, they don't have to review it. Those Texas Ranger guys are good. They do everything right. They're heroes. Wrong damn name in the warrant. Out freaking outrageous. You people may think, Rick, you're just picking on a simple mistake, man. Cops are good. Tatum will be defending this guy. Man, he didn't put the wrong name. That was a big case and he was working it and it was in his mind. So it was, come on, Tate. Shit. Quit defending these guys. All right. Horrible, horrible. They had to black out the wrong suspect's name. Is involved in smuggling of persons. Really? I didn't know this smuggling person. May have recorded himself. Now remember, people, this warrant with all this bad information was signed by a crackpipe Texas Ranger and a crack judge of Judicial. This judge should be ashamed of themselves. Out freaking outrageous. You suck as a judge. You suck as a public servant who is supposed to be holding government accountable, who are supposed to be reviewing warrants with diligence and making sure that cops aren't violating rights, and you sign a warrant when the cop puts in the wrong paragraph and the wrong name. Holy shit. What a colossal example of incompetent government on every level, up to including the judge. Wow. Good job, Honorable District Judge Calamine DeBoos, 38th District. Wow. Man, I wonder how you got that job. well, another issue. All right, let's see. Search warrant state of Texas, Uvalde. The affiant, whose name appears in the affidavit support of the warrant of the peace officer, swear to the affiant before me, someone authorized to take the affiant's oath under the laws of the state. I find and verify the facts stated by the affiant and affidavit shown that the affiant has probable cause. Really? You found that with the wrong freaking name and a wrong paragraph on a human smuggling case, and you didn't even catch it? Wow, you're crackpot. Your affiant expressed affidavit facts. You therefore, you're ordered to search premises and persons. Yeah, great job. You can go search anything you want, and it doesn't even care what's in the warrant. You can put pretty much anything in the warrant, and it doesn't matter. As long as you get the phone was black in color and the suspect was wearing black clothes, you can search anybody anytime. Freaking perp. Man, I'm telling you, this to me, you know what this tells me? These guys are so incompetent and they've been getting away with this for so long that there's no good a defense attorney going over these warrants and actually challenge those warrants. Warrants are normally pretty hard to overturn. I don't think I've ever seen a warrant overturned, but I don't think I've ever seen a warrant written this shitty. And I'm pretty sure this warrant in a criminal case would without a doubt 100% be overturned. And you know what that means? Everything he finds is overturned, and every lead that phone leads us to cannot be used as evidence. This is how criminals go free. Our government fails. But you know what? Let's get some more quota hiring and make sure we write a lot of tickets, because Department of Safety is all about tickets. Tickets, tickets, tickets. All right. Above premises data. This is all the same shit. Here's the warrant. Christina, District Court of Valdez. Deputy. By Amanda. Is this the deputy DA that signed that? You're an idiot too. If this is the deputy DA that read this warrant, you're a freaking idiot too. How about that? Rick, you can't call the DA an idiot. Whatever. I find blah, 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 blah. You are ordered. This judge gave a warrant and ordered the Texas Rangers to go do a warrant with the wrong name and the wrong case, talking about human smuggling when it was a case about killing kids. Sleep tight, America. Don't worry about keeping that pesky gun. The government will protect you. If we give all the guns to government, they're always competent. They'll always keep watch, value our rights, and ensure that the other government employees of the police departments are doing their job and doing it right. They will look out for you. Just give up that mean AR-15 and those big mags, because that's the problem, not incompetent government. Are you freaking kidding me? Good luck, America. All right, we'll end that there.